This is Opposite Attractions, Season 4, Episode 2. A salute to all nations, but mostly Alabama.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats and glasses, because this here is Opposite Attractions. I am your host, Scottye Moore, joined as always by the littlest mouseketeer, Mr. Jimothy Murphy. Jim, how are you doing?
Hi everybody. I can't do the voice right now. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I might come off a little tired during this show, and it's because I've spent all day making a banner that says Disney fears Vista. And I'm just gonna hang it when we go to Disney next. Disney fears op-ed.
People were like wondering how that got in, and like,
well, hold on, break down the story, because I don't know the full story.
I don't remember what day it was, but somebody hung a large political ad banner from the park side of the Main Street train station at Disney World, long enough for pictures to be taken of it and video, but I don't think long enough that it was like a nuisance.
Yeah.
But it was like 10 foot by 15 feet probably, 8 by
I've seen
14.
pictures. I've seen pictures of it, and it's an impressive banner, but my logic is I thought it was them protesting like dumb shit, like something ridiculous, like no, don't fucking change Jungle Cruise, the Rock's gonna ruin it. But like, now that I know it was a pro-Trump banner, why not do it at the Hall of Presidents?
There's nowhere to hang anything from the Hall of Presidents.
No, you sneak
like,
into those windows that the Muppets come out for that one show, and then you just hang it from there. It's Sam Eagle in the biggest heel turn of all time. He's just like, I actually agree. I think he's gonna make America great again. Sam?
I think it was a fairly substantial sign, but I think the fact that it's not metal, I think it would be fairly easy to get through security if like you rolled it up into like a jacket or something, because they're not patting you down at security.
Yeah. So you're saying that someone was posing as like a pregnant woman and had this underneath their belly, then jumped up and was like, I'm gonna tell them what I feel.
Well, security, they make a big deal, like when you get on the trams, like don't have weapons or things that look like weapons. And for like the Halloween, you're not supposed to have masks and no selfie sticks because of whatever reason. I did see a lot of selfie sticks in Disney, like more than I thought I would see. And I thought, like, don't they have like security to tell them no?
Yeah.
Like that's a part of their spiel, is like no selfie sticks. They have signs and everything. But during the Halloween party, like they make a big deal of like, don't have anything covering your face.
Right.
For all sorts of reasons. Well, after the fireworks were over and we were in the Emporium and we were like paying for something, like the woman that was running the cash register was just like, there's a dinosaur. Like she had kind of a shocked expression. So we were in the middle, like where the seasonal stuff all is.
Right.
That center section. And so we're facing the back wall, and this woman's like, hey, look, a dinosaur. And I'm like, what? I turn, and someone runs through the room in those giant inflatable dinosaur costumes. And I don't know where okay, I'm assuming like closest avenue would probably be to go in like the bathroom at the Crystal Palace, maybe? Or the Plaza, or whatever the heck that restaurant is over there, and then run out and try to run for the front of the park, I guess. Because there's no other place. I don't see somebody like pulling that out like in the middle of a public place, because I feel like somebody would stop them. But I feel like once you're in the suit, I guess unless somebody wanted to tackle you, I don't know what they would do to stop you, but I saw that and I'm thinking, like, how did that get through security? Because I don't think those are small.
They are not small, and there's definitely metal involved in it. My only logic is maybe they're like, your face is, because your face technically is not covered, and there is a window you can look through to see.
Yeah, but I think for security reasons, like, I mean, granted, if you like tried to do something, it would kind of be like, yeah, the dinosaur did it.
Well, no, not only
And
that.
you would kind of easily be caught, but I still think that wouldn't. I don't know how that would get past security.
As someone who, to no one's surprise at home, owns one of those giant suits, I will say your movement is limited, so it's kind of like worrying about an old lady on a plane. You're just like, nah, she ain't gonna fuck anything up.
It was quite busy in the Emporium, as one would expect, because that place is never not busy.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they got through to there.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. And they were like, they weren't right against the wall either. They were kind of in the middle, and that, like, it was full on arms flailing, like exactly any video you've ever seen of someone running in one of those suits is what this person was doing.
Well,
and I never saw, like, I didn't see them later, like, tased in a cage or anything, so I don't know what happened to them.
They were trying to run to Universal. They realized they went to the wrong park. They're like, I gotta get to Jurassic Park. Come on. I will say, I think the biggest problem was actually the hat the dinosaur was wearing that said "Make America Great Again," and that's where they were like, "Hold on, we gotta take him down." He's like got a giant banner behind him that says like pro-Trump shit all over it, and they're like, "What's wrong with that very Republican dinosaur?" So Jim, this is a show where we build our own theme park, and we decided last week that both of our ideas were garbage, and instead we would build a theme park for America. And so we still haven't got a good name. Like, we've been like America, USA. What was yours? Imagination?
Yes.
I think I had something else, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, American or something like that. Miracle. That's what it was. The Children's Miracle Network. So that's our American theme park, and every week we have a challenge. And this week, Jim, of course, I had to rep my home state. Had to rep the boys here in Bama, because our first state to start off is, of course, Alabama. And, you know, sometimes the lowest hanging fruit does taste the best, Jim. And that's how I felt while I was constructing my ride, the Roll Tide Rollercoaster. Which, it was a name so obvious, I was sitting there at work like, I really fucking hope Jim didn't do this too. That'd be bad. And I figured since we're kind of needing to go
Spoiler alert, no.
Yeah. I figured since we're kind of having to go a little bit longer now, because we're trying to make the show not half us talking about Disney shit and then half the actual show, so we're gonna try to go longer. So I want to describe the show building from the outside. It looks like a football arena. It looks like you've got the trees, you've got the walls of the arena, and there's
So this is an indoor roller coaster.
This is an indoor. How do you know it's a roller coaster? What tempts you up?
You said it was called the Roll Tide Rollercoaster.
That's just the name. It doesn't mean. And outside there's like walk-up food places that are kind of like bailmating, trailblazing, tailgating. So like the tailgate is the name of the walk-up
sports
where you can get like hot dogs and stuff, and it's like a real tailgate. There's music blasting out. And since you are still in the South, there are the character actors walking around are like, "What's up, man? Roll fucking Tide!" They all got A's on their shirts. Then you walk into your queue, and the queue actually looks like the inside of a big kind of Coliseum-shaped thing. So you have like, you walk past like fake eateries that would be selling weird, nasty food. And then there's videos all showing highlights of the greatest, second greatest era of Alabama football, which is, of course, the fucking Saban era. And so you're watching, like, Alabama football as you wait. And then finally, you go down into the loading area, which is kind of like the loading area for... If the loading area for Rock and Roller Coaster and the loading area for, I hate to say it, Fast and Furious Supercharged had a baby, this is what it would be. It looks like the underneath of the Coliseum where all the football players go. And this is where you start to see the safety videos hosted by none other than Hail motherfucking Saban, Nick Saban himself. And he's just like, hey, no fucking selfie sticks. Don't do no dumb ass shit. Calm down. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle or else they will be chopped off. And then he also explains that this is a VR roller coaster. And then he kind of gets into the description of what this show is, or what the ride is about. And he's just like, so you, son, you've been recruited by the greatest football team on God's green earth, the fucking Crimson Tide. Welcome to the Tide, boy. I'm your host, Nick, and coach, I guess, Nick Saban. And I'm going to give you the number one lesson I give every person who crossed these hallowed halls of the fucking... I don't know, man. He's like, I'll give you the first lesson I give to every single one of my students, every one of my players, and it's this. Before you can even touch the ball, you must be the ball. And then that's where you go into the normal safety spiel, and then you get into the ride vehicle, which is very, very much shaped like the ones for, Space Mountain, except instead of having that sleek space exterior, it's painted like a fucking football. And it's a pigskin. And so that you get into your vehicle, and I haven't decided yet. I've got two ways I want to do it. Way one, it's a normal roller coaster experience. Way two, a dome closes over the top and you can no longer see the outside world as you are encased. So from the outside, it looks like a football. And on the inside, you might have a nervous breakdown. So no matter which way it ends up going, you get in there, then you put on your glasses, and then what? Wait, what? Oh, you're not like on the field playing, you're not training. No, what you see is the quarterback of Alabama, but he's upside down. And then,
I haven't. There's not very many attractions where you start in someone's crotch.
Yeah, and then,
I mean, Making of Me was one of them, but I don't know very many other ones.
And then you hear blue 32, hut, hike. At which point you're fucking launched forward until he catches you. Sudden stop. Then you go around a curve as he pulls you up into the air. And then first peak of the roller coaster is as you get tossed into the air. And now you're on a fucking adventure. As you are the ball. As you get rushed forward, the car goes like super fast. And then that's when you realize where you are and who you are facing. That's right, you're facing Bama's perennial fucking rivals, the worst team of all time, the fucking Auburn Tigers. 'Cause it's the Iron Bowl, Jim Murphy. And you guys are doing good. You're beating the hell out of these boys. There's sick blitz maneuvers, I think is a thing. There's tight passes, ankle breakers. I don't know if that's a thing in football. But then, what? You hear that? That's the sound of a portal opening. Right before quarterback Jones is about to launch his famous tossy-do into the end zone, a portal opens and you fall through it. And this is probably the steepest fall in the entire ride as you are suddenly, teleported, and you're caught by the Alabama quarterback. but not the one you just were in. It's a fucking different guy, is what I'm saying. And now you see the uniforms, and the uniforms look slightly different, and everything seems different around you. You're still facing Auburn, but the colors look muted, almost black and white. That's when you look over, and you realize that you're no longer being coached by Nick Saban, who was screaming on from the side. No, you're being coached by the by God best damn college football coach of all fucking time, fucking Paul Bear Bryant. And he's like, go boys, go. And now this is where the ride gets intense. Like, like, there's a moment where you get thrown and then the cart corkscrews because at the same time you're like, the ball is spiraling. That's a moment. You get punted into, like, for a fucking penalty kick or something, and, like, you do loop-de-loops to simulate the ball falling backwards and backwards. And then finally, the game ends. You defeat Auburn in the first ever Iron Bowl. And then, fucking Bear Bryant walks over to you, picks up the ball, and then he just smiles and goes, "They're ready, coach." And then drops you, and then suddenly you're in Saban's hands, and he says, "Well, it looks like you guys are ready to join the Tide. Meet me in the showers."
Oh, that's a horrible post ride. Oh my God.
And then that's when you get out and you get to go into the giant ass Alabama like celebration room where you get to see like trophies we've won over the years because we're the best football team of all time. You get to buy your Alabama merch. A lot of fantastic.
I'm so glad the gift shop isn't a shower. I'm so very glad.
Oh, no. There is a section that looks like a shower, but you buy stuff out. Like there's clothes hanging off of the shower heads. And then, yeah, that was the Roll Tide Rollercoaster featuring Nick Saban and a brought back from the dead Paul Bear Bryant.
I hate to say that I had a slightly similar idea, but I didn't end up using it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not end up going that way. But would this be better as a real roller coaster or as a VR like Cyberspace Mountain experience?
I've never ridden a VR roller coaster, so I cannot give you a strict comparison between the two. I love we've not done a VR roller coaster yet, and I really like the idea. See, here's the difference between like a Cyberspace Mountain and an actual VR roller coaster. Your body feels it, and you know what Coach Saban?
Well, no, Cyberspace Mountain, you feel.
I'm just saying, Coach fucking Saban's trying to teach you a lesson. You gotta respect the ball before anything else in this world, Jimothy. And let me tell you right now, you need to feel the forces that are being enacted on that fucking ball before you can show it the respect it deserves. Football!
Well, speaking of forces, would you like to hear my pitch for an Alabama attraction?
Oh, no. Yes.
Okay, so here's the two things I know about Alabama. Crimson Tide football and Rocket City, USA. Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, yeah.
So basically, my version of this Alabama attraction would actually be like 2 attractions in one.
I thought you were just my version of this Alabama is just a world where it's a bunch of football players, and the reason they're so good is they ride rockets into the end zone.
So my show building would look like a giant airplane hangar, similar to like Soarin' at DCA. Yeah, literally there would be like rocket equipment and also football equipment like scattered all around the walkways and and there would be a giant sign that would be hanging over that would say "Welcome to Puntsville."
Oh God, I had a sip of Sprite in my mouth. That hurt. That physically hurt to hear.
Yeah. So yeah, the University of Alabama has decided that they can kick every football team's ass on the planet Earth, so they want to go into space and beat all those players too.
Fuck me! Yes, this is the best ride I've ever heard of.
They're looking for both opponents and potentially recruitment opportunities in space.
Okay.
Now, part of this, there's an outdoor component. Have you ever seen Jedi Training Trials of the Temple?
Yes, I have.
So there would be shows like that would essentially be like a punt, pass, and kick competition, but there would be a space component, and it would be called the kick, pass, and moonwalk.
God, yes, Jim.
And so I think they would do something to like simulate gravity, like maybe like every like kid would come up in like a harness, and they could hook them into one of those like reverse bungee things to give them like a little bit of like bounce when they walk around.
Okay.
So there's that.
Jim, you know we're not doing the Moon theme park, right? You didn't have to do this.
So literally, it's like the employees would be playing like coaches, and they would have kids that they would sign up to like be in this little competition, and they'd do it like multiple times a day.
Okay.
And they would do various like football and weird spacey things for the whole like 20-minute show or whatever. But then inside the giant building, I didn't want to do a ride so much as I'm actually doing a film. The attraction would be called Touchdown.
Oh, thank God, Jim. There was a moment there where I was like, I've never been fully trounced in one of these with Jim having just like the most dominant, best idea of all
Just
time.
listen.
And then, of course, then you said, oh, it's just a fucking film. And I was like, oh,
Wait.
my spot is secure.
So this is essentially like you basically see that inside of this air hangar is like their like secret government facility where they're trying to go to space.
Okay.
So you were told that you're going to go into a theater because you're going to see like a like training thing. Like they're going to show like people basically training to go to space.
Okay.
So you go, it's like stadium seating, and it's like, oh, it's closed circuit TV. We don't want to show you where they're really doing it. Like that's for like secrets or whatever. So they put this video on the screen of like a bunch of coaches and some players. And then there's like a 4D effect because the space it's like a Space Jam scenario.
Oh, I've been waiting
like,
this whole time for the fucking Monstars to come in and whoop ass.
Yeah, it's basically that like aliens come in somehow and like they hit the ground and like the theater you're in shakes like it's like they landed somewhere else in the building.
Oh, okay.
So like your seats are moving and the walls are shaking and like sirens and stuff are going off. Maybe they can do like a kind of like how Sweetums comes out at Muppet Vision where like somebody runs in and is like, is everybody okay in here? Like, oh crap.
Okay.
And then runs back out. But then you're watching on this video as these Alabama players like have to basically play football against monsters to try to beat them to make them go away.
Okay. I'm liking what I'm hearing. May I propose the actual ride that goes along with this?
Okay.
The Monstars come in and they start beating up the Alabama football team, and they steal, much like the real Space Jam, they steal the powers of the Crimson Tide. Now that's when Coach Saban, because Saban has to fucking be here. Saban comes in and is just like, we need you to save save their talent. Go after them. Get them, guys. Get them. And that's when you board into the Football 9000. And that's your own personal Buzz Lightyear-esque ship that you go and shoot footballs at the aliens and see who gets a better high score.
My original idea was that that the NASA went to the Crimson Tide to help them make a better rocket ship by basically using football technology.
Okay.
So this was my original plan, was that it would be like a test track sort of a situation where you would be like at a computer screen in the pre-show, like making a football like a football shaped rocket. And then like on the ride, it would like have stats and they would do certain tests that would be like a test track sort of a thing. Okay. But I wanted it to be more like a roller coaster because I did want to put in like a corkscrew spiral situation like you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I stepped away from that because I didn't want to do exactly a roller coaster, but I like I think okay, so if we make my film the pre-show with the same like effects,
Oh yeah.
so like instead of it being like a 15-minute video, it's like a 3-minute video where it's like you see them start to practice and then all of a sudden like everything goes haywire and like the person that runs in, instead of like checking to see if you're okay, they're like recruiting you to save the day. That works.
Okay. We're gonna take every idea we've had so far on this show and cram it all into one fucking thing. Comes in. You have to get into our experimental pods created through the Tide X NASA campaign. They are called Tide Pods, and they're shaped like footballs. You have to, in the first half of the ride, shoot the aliens. That's when you get your high score. But wait, no, their talent is going back to Moron Mountain, which is, of course, that was a deep cut from Space Jam. And now you have to get launched, and that's where the roller coaster part comes in. They toss you into the air. You get to feel the football movement in the air. Then the spiral happens. Then you land on Moron Mountain, another shooting section. And then after that shooting section, you've defeated the Monstars, and then like 4 animatronic Crimson Tide players are just like, yay, thank you. And also,
our likenesses are not paid for this. Please do not kick us out of school.
Also, there definitely has to be a meet and greet with the Alabama elephant, doesn't there? Like, there's no reason why. Hold on, what the fuck is his name? Because also, I'm always just kind of.
I didn't know what the mascot of Alabama was. I assumed it was a used tampon.
Well, you see, they're called the Crimson Tide, which makes you think.
That's why I assumed it was a used tampon.
Well, I mean, obviously you would think elephant. Well, my favorite Alabama shit is the fact that the Auburn Tigers football team, their catchphrase, War Eagle. I think someone forgot what fucking dude that their team was represented by. So they apparently have 2 animals now, the War Eagle and then the Tiger Boy. Let's see.
No, an elephant.
What? No. Crimson.
Oh, you're talking about Auburn.
Yeah,
Has
that's
an
Auburn.
eagle. Okay.
Why? Oh, big.
Well, it's because Alabama has very historically, statistically, has lower education, so they don't really know the difference between the two.
Between a tiger or a fucking bird, and we're like,
yeah, that confuses the hell out of them.
Well, that's hold on, that's what Auburn fans are like. Hey, that's my whole life, Jim Murphy. Just a bunch of Auburn or Alabama jokes, depending on the situation. Also, his name is Big Al. I think I might get kicked out of Alabama for forgetting the fact that his name was Big Al.
I loved him at Country Bears.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Why does Alabama have an elephant as its mascot? Ole Miss was truly battling the big boys for every inch of ground. At the end of the quarter, the earth started to tremble. There was a distant rumble that continued to grow. Some excited fans in the stands bellowed, "Hold your horses, the elephants are coming," and out stepped the Alabama varsity. Okay, so now we need a remix of the Space Jam theme, but also including black suits coming from Men in Black 2, but now it's the elephants coming. Now, do we have a name for it? I mean, I guess we could keep Roll Tide Rollercoaster for it, or did you have a separate name?
I do not have a separate name.
Unless you were just going to call it the Puntsville Varsity. The Puntsville Extravaganza. So, much like the beginning of Season 2, we've kind of just took all of our ideas that we had for this and vomited it onto one thing. Oh, so Jim Murphy, it's been an episode. We got Alabama covered. So I'm just going to put a pin in that on the map. Where are we going next?
I decided one of my friends that listens to the show, he just had a baby. Well, his wife just had a baby. That would be weird. So I decided to do his home state as our next thing. So we're going to go to New Jersey.
Oh, yes! The Jay and Silent Baba coaster. Fuck yeah, baby. Oh, man. Another way to do the Alabama ride would just be like a whole lot of shitty ride and then one really cool section called Birmingham and then more shitty ride. And then all of a sudden you're suddenly in the Georgia section in Atlanta. So Jim, it's been an episode. We're excited for Joyzy next week. But where can they find you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter at apparently smart.
Very good. That's it.
Yes.
The end.
Yes, that is it. I apologize.
We may bring back a horrible premise for one night only. Because what we're doing... okay, so here's what happened. On a load of BS, the podcast Illuminati's trying to shut us the fuck down if we don't get more listeners. And so we want to show the podcast Illuminati's who's boss by doing everything they've done better. So we kind of want to take a show like A Horrible Premise and just do it ourselves. But the exact same, and also with Jim Murphy still hosting it. So yeah, make sure to check out the return of A Horrible Premise perhaps sometimes in the future on A Load of BS. So check that out and find me on Twitter at ScottyMo. That's SCOTTYEMO. And make sure to buy all my books on Amazon, the Queasel Corp Trilogy, BS vs. the Gods, or find them on Audible at audibletrial.com/BS Network. It supports us. You get a free 30-day trial. It's win-win. But if you want to support us otherwise, you can at patreon.com/A Load of BS or at merch.aloadofpurebs.com. So check that out. Check out all the other shows at aloadofpurebs.com and check out all of the previous seasons at opposite-attractions.com. And remember, you can find Jim and me on Twitter at OpAtShow. That's spelled OPPATTSHOW. Are you down with OPP? Roll motherfucking Tide!